How's it going, ladies and Bruce's? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Novena Diabolos. We've got 3 pinned down, I'm pretty sure, 2 to go, and we might have a reasonable idea of who those 2 might be, or who might be the human at this point, but we still got a few days left, so definitely time to rack up some more evidence. Having finished dinner, I return to my room. I lean against the wall and take a small break. I can't afford to take a long break. As soon as I've recovered a little, it's time to keep moving. The sun is already setting. I have to make the most of it before it's gone completely. It's crystal clear what I have to do. Establish trust with the one I think is most likely to be the real human. Time to go. At least I've managed to narrow it down to 2 people that I'm boosting. And they're both pretty high now. Hana and Sumi. I think we're up to Sumi today. I still think Hana is the most likely to be human, but I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, you know what I mean? Okay, I should go see Sumi. Before going to the school today, I decided to stop by the abandoned village. I'm pretty certain Ginsuk Park must have lived around here somewhere back then. Hope Hill Village was built fairly recently by a bunch of religious people. That means Ginsuk's old home is located outside of Hope Hill. According to Ginsuk's diary, they had a large ginkgo tree nearby. There's no such thing anywhere around Hope Hill Village. All the more reason that Ginsuk's house would be around here, somewhere around here instead. Hopefully. Now that looks promising. I can see a ginkgo tree in the distance. Next to it is an old house, most likely where Ginsuk lived. Something feels off. There's a strange coldness. I rub my freezing arms and enter the old house. This is it. This must be where Ginsuk's family lived back then. There's not much left, but there may be some clues around here. Time to see what I can find. Let's investigate. What's that? I see something under the desk and reach out. It's an old small box. I wonder why it's here of all places. Upon opening the box, I see some old notebooks. I take them out one after another and find one in particular that stands out. November 1984. Ginsuk Park. I carefully analyze the bookshelf. It's a diary. Ginsuk Park, the elementary school friend of Sumi, had grown up and become a high school student. I take another look at the diary's front cover. For a moment I'm filled with a deep sense of both appreciation and fascination. I'm about to get a glimpse into someone else's life and find out how it all went. I know it's probably not as special as I think, but still. I blow the dust that has accumulated over the years off the diary and carefully open it up again. November 2nd, 1984. It's a national holiday, so our school, as well as all other high schools nationwide, have been preparing for Student Day. While other schools hold various basic sport events and athletic meets, our principal wants to have mountaineering competitions. The class leaders, including me, were able to climb and make preparations in advance. The teachers and students were putting up banners and flags on the mountain, and suddenly the sky turned black, like during the darkest night. Then it shone in a cold blue. Despite the cold weather, a hot wind blew and strange screams echoed throughout the mountain. It was a really scary experience. Students and teachers alike were really unsettled by it. When I told my mother about it, she was really worried, and said a sky like that is a sinister omen. I wonder what that was all about. November 3rd, 1984. Because of Student Day, our school had a mountaineering competition. I felt strangely unwell and couldn't participate, but I wasn't the only one. Some of the others felt so bad they couldn't even come to school at all. Most of them were the class leaders who had made preparations for the event yesterday. Because of that, there was a shortage of supervising students, so the teaching committee members were upset and stressed out throughout the event. I really wanted to help out, but I felt so bad that I had to leave early. November 4th. I couldn't even get up this morning. I didn't go to school because my whole body felt weak and unable to move. In the afternoon, Sumi and Kwan came to the hospital to visit me. They were worried about me. Sumi seemed especially shocked. There it is, Sumi. This is Sumi Choi's story. Judging from this, I take it Sumi must have also become a high school student. I stop turning pages for a moment and think about everything. Something strange happened with the sky. And following that, people fell ill with an unknown condition. Maybe this is what caused the village to become abandoned. It's hard to tell if this is somehow related to my current situation. I continue reading through the diary. November 5th. Sumi came to visit me at the hospital again today. I have heard news from the school. Many more students are absent, suffering the same sickness as me. Actually, it's not just students, but also teachers and other locals. It appears to be something like the flu, But I heard the village doctor is bringing in a doctor from the city because he doesn't know the disease's name or cause. Everything will be fine once the doctor from the city gets here. November 7th. The doctor from the city came to me today, together with Sumi and Quan. I was a little scared because the doctor said everyone entering my room should wear a mask and gloves. After a quick look at my symptoms, the doctor confirmed it was the same disease as the others, but he still doesn't know what it is. He took some blood from me for a serum test. I saw Sumi's expression. She looked so worried that I laughed and told her to stop making such a face. After my friends and the doctor left, I suddenly had to cry. The worse my physical condition, the more anxious I get. What happened to everyone? November 15th. I heard that one of the class leaders, Mihyun, died. So-young is getting worse and worse too. My mother held my hand tight as she told me. She looked so worried and depressed. Hearing about the others scared me. There doesn't seem to be any cure for this. I couldn't even keep down a few spoonfuls of rice today. Mother and father also appear to be struggling. Most of the people here say they feel weak and powerless. Is it spreading? Despite everything, Sumi and Quan visited me again today, but this time Sumi said she wouldn't be able to come again for a while. She couldn't tell me the reason. She was crying the whole time when she said that. What's going on? I'm weak, but I'm still worried about Sumi. November 30th. The result of the blood serum test came back. There are shared symptoms, but the cause is unknown. It doesn't appear to be contagious. No confirmed cases are reported other than the locals. I don't understand. 5 people have already died. Many villagers are struggling. 2 pregnant women had miscarriages. Quan said the whole village is like this. They're looking for a new mayor to handle the situation. He cried the whole time. I miss Sumi. I want to see her. Huh. The diary ends here. I keep looking through it to find something. Ultimately, what happened to Ginsuk and Sumi? I assume Ginsuk died. At that moment, a thick piece of paper stuck in the back of the diary falls out. I pick it up. It's a letter. Dear Ginsuk, it's already been 15 days since you died. I've tried to visit the place where you're buried many times, but the government keeps me from getting close, warning about the risk of disease. That's why I'm leaving you this letter here. I'm moving away tomorrow. Most villagers think it's no longer an option to stay here, so I think the others will follow, and will soon leave as well. Ginsuk, tell me, have you and Sumi met up, there in the sky? We were all so close that these words break my heart as I wrote them. Did Sumi die too? I'm sorry I couldn't do anything. I hope you feel a lot better now. Please say hi to Sumi for me, when you see her. Take care. Ginsuk and Sumi are dead. According to this diary, both Ginsuk and Sumi eventually died here in this village. I can't help but feel sad about the tragic fate of these 3 close friends. But if this is what happened, how are the Sumi Choi I know and the Sumi Choi that died related? Trying to piece it all together, I casually turn over the letter. Huh? I'm so shocked that I have to choke for a moment. Here's an old, worn-out photo. That's definitely Sumi, yep. With the Sumi Choi I know clearly visible on it. What's going on here? Huh? Before I can gather my thoughts, I hear a loud sudden noises coming from outside. I'm so taken by surprise that I almost fall over, but I manage to stay focused. What the... A strange alien sound that doesn't belong here. This can't be good. Is that... them? I mumble in fear and look toward the source of the sound. Let's go out the back. I don't want to die right now. I carefully move to the house's back door. The sound came from outside the front door. If I head there, I may run straight into danger. Ah! Another ear-piercing, terrifying sound makes me shudder and cower. Afterwards, everything is quiet once more. Feeling anxious somehow, I run toward the front door. Is that Sumi? Sumi is down on the ground. I look around to see if I can make out anything suspicious, but I can't see anything. What the hell is that horrifying sound just now? Hey! Hey, Sumi! Sumi, wake up! I shake Sumi's fainted body, but there's no response. I pick Sumi up. First I have to get her to the motel. Luckily, Sumi has the key in her bag. So getting into her room doesn't pose a problem. I carefully lay Sumi down. Phew, I'm beat. Carrying someone who's unconscious is already quite hard in and of itself, but it really exhausted me mentally as well. I lean against the wall and take the photograph I grabbed out of my pocket. No matter how often I look at it, there really is no doubt. It's the same person I'm standing next to right now. though the Sumi Choi in the photograph died back in the 80s. But then, who was the Sumi Choi in front of me? This is giving me a headache. Nothing about this makes even a lick of sense, as I keep pressing my hands against my temples in frustration. Sumi groans and slowly opens her eyes. Where? You're in your room. Did I lose again? Lose again? She was in a fight? Why? A sheer endless amount of questions keep popping up in my head. However, one question in particular takes precedence over all others. Sumi, how old are you? I don't know, I don't remember. Are you... a real person? A human? Damn, I hope that wasn't too direct. I already died a long time ago, so I can't call myself a human. What? I didn't hide it on purpose. You didn't ask. You can't be. Did you seriously just say that? How'd you find out? You mean how I found out you're actually a ghost of the past? Yes. Okay, where to even start? Take a look at this. I take out the diary and hand it to Sumi. What is that? It's a diary. It belongs to your friend, Gin-suk. Gin-suk? Who's that? Really? I'm confused. The way Sumi looks at the diary makes it seem like she means it. Gin-suk. She really doesn't remember? I don't know. I can't remember. What do you mean? You don't remember anything? I don't know any of this. All I remember is I have to drive away all the evil. So you really can't remember? You've never heard of this person before? Even though you took this photo together? Photo? I hand Sumi the photograph, and she slowly accepts it. That's... Gin-suk? That's Gin-suk? That's right, do you remember now? This is Gin-suk. Why something so important? Why? 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 What the hell? Why? What have I even been doing all this time? Hey, Sumi? Sumi stares into the air and starts sobbing. She looks so desperate, and yet I don't know what I could possibly do to help her. Sumi, I reach out to comfort Sumi, but she seems to be somewhere else in her mind. I don't know what to say during a moment like this. Sumi doesn't even seem to realize that I'm still there with her. Are her memories of Gin-suk coming back to her? I wonder what things she remembers that cause such sadness and anger. There has to be a reason she still roams this place after all this time. Feeling powerless, I keep looking at Sumi, who keeps crying, and with tears running down her face, I quietly get up and move out of her room. I lean against the hallway wall, just outside her door. So many things that I can't make sense of happened, in such a quick succession without me having a chance to think. I wonder what all this means. Sumi and Gin-suk were friends back then. Both of them died from the same mysterious illness. However, there seems to be more to the whole story than that. Also, Sumi claims to be the ghost of the Sumi Choi that died back then. Yet she couldn't remember Gin-suk at all. And then, as soon as she saw the picture, all of this is confusing. I need some time to quickly think things through. I stay in the hallway a little longer. And then I make my way to my next destination. Having finished everything on my schedule, I return to my room. The sun's already setting. The 6th day is over. Whew. I take off my coat and throw it in the corner, then rotate my neck a little to loosen up. The loud cracking of my bones echoes deep within my ears. I'm beat. I walk to the bathroom. It feels like my tense, tired body loosens up a little under the hot water. Time to think about everything for a moment. If I'm getting out of here once the 9th day begins, that means I only have 2 full days left. Only 2 days, huh? Time sure goes by faster in here. I wonder if I'm doing well, all things considered. I talk to myself a little under the shower, then grab a towel to dry myself. I plop down on my soft blanket. Every single fibre of my body is begging me for some well-deserved rest. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I should make sure to recover properly. I close my eyes and relax my body. Unsurprisingly, I instantly doze off. Slowly, but surely. How can you instantly doze off slowly? Now that's a skill. Oh my god. We're running out of time. We need to nail down either Sumi or Hana. Very soon. I've probably got another murder today, actually. It's morning. I mutter to myself as I reach for my phone. 2 days until the selection. And what about a murder? I mutter my question as if directly asking the person who sent the text. Nothing? I wait for a while with my phone in hand, but there are no further messages. Damn it. I mean, I don't want people to get murdered, but I kind of need it to solve the thing. It looks like there's no victim today. Whew. I give a relieved sigh. The more I think about it, the less I feel like I should be this relieved. I had investigated 3 murder scenes so far. The last one is necessary to reveal the identities of the monsters. I have 2 days left. Fear and disgust are no longer valid excuses for avoiding the murder scene. Ugh. But no matter what, I can't do anything if there's no actual crime scene for me to go to. Looks like the last murder is bound to happen tomorrow. I have to use today to gather meaningful evidence and ensure that what I have so far is correct. Okay. Same schedule and procedure as before. Business as usual. I raise myself up. Time to make the most of this day. We got this. Let's go meet Hana, I suppose. I finished my search for an escape route, which also serves as my morning walk. I found a good route back and forth. The fastest way to cross the village. Nobody believes that I know anything. Might as well leave town confident with my head held high. Phew. My hands are tingling with nervous anticipation. Not too much longer now. But I haven't quite solved this puzzle yet. In order to complete this puzzle successfully, I have to establish enough trust with the real human. I have to narrow down who could be the real human. I'm not sure yet. Didn't Sumi Choi just admit that she's not a human? But then she's the ghost of a human. Does that count? I don't fucking know. But there are definitely people that come to mind. Which one of them is human? Which one should I build trust with? I walk slowly. A face pops up in my mind. Okay. I should meet with that person first. Is she maxed? No. I'm a good 80% sure that Hana is the real person, but let's go see her. Okay, I should go see Hana. Before I meet up with Hana, I go over all the information I have so far. I hate to say it, but there's not actually much information to speak of. I'm embarrassed at the thought of meeting with Hana like this. Maybe I should take the time to have another look around. In that case, where should I go? There's not a lot of time left. Where to spend what little time I have? Shit, I don't know. The village street? I should head out and hit the streets. For a place as small as this, there's usually quite a few people wandering around. I make up my mind and head for the main street. Alright, I can't lose track of time. I have to keep that in mind. I'll gather info as quickly as I can and then meet with Hana straight away. Alright, how do I gather information? Listen in on people having conversations. That's the best way to get information. I carefully eavesdrop on a conversation 2 men are currently having. Books? The books martyrs have to study. You really don't know? Not really. I didn't even know books like that existed. I recently bought one myself, actually. At first glance, they may look like regular novels, but when you look at more closely, there's actual information about demons. So you've been studying up on magic and demons that way? That's right. Summoning demons and then being martyred is a complicated process. It only works if you memorize every little detail. Damn, martyrdom isn't easy, that much is clear. Especially the getting murdered part. I thought I just had to die, you know? The 2 men walk away until I can't hear them talking anymore. Pursuing them further seems too dangerous. I stop following them and turn the other way. Sounds like those martyrs they've mentioned are the mangled corpses that have been popping up around here. That's definitely interesting. But it's not much help right now. I guess that's that, not much I can do. It's disappointing, but I can't waste any time moping. Let's do a guy standing around. I decide to try a more courageous approach in order to uncover new info. I approach a villager who's standing there by himself. He appears to be looking for something. Hey, how are you? Oh, hey, hello. I'm fine. Did you lose something? I saw you looking around. Ah, I see. No, it's nothing really. I brought some magazines to this town, but these people simply never return them once they're done reading them. I was told someone dropped one around here, so that's why I'm looking around. A magazine, you say? Yeah, it's called Monthly Maxine. Pretty interesting read. Some people. I get borrowing it to have something to read at work, but at least give it back afterwards. After finishing his sentence, the man starts looking around again. Hey, are you new around? I'm sorry, buddy. I'm pretty busy, so let's talk some other time. Looks like I won't get anything else out of him. Damn. I can't afford to waste time moping around. I turn away. Oh wow, it's time already. Time's running out. I wasn't able to get any useful info. But, well, there's nothing I can do about that now. I shouldn't keep Hannah waiting. And she's not waiting because she doesn't know we're coming. Having done my best to find clues, I make my way to the abandoned village. Despite my efforts, I didn't find any clues regarding the whereabouts of all these young people, or this salvation business. I know for a fact that the people here are the missing persons I've been looking for, but beyond that, I don't really know anything at all. I arrive at the abandoned village. Although I tried, I have nothing to show for it. Hannah? Are you there? Hannah? I'm here. I hear a voice coming from inside the building. Looks like she chose to wait inside this time. Following her voice, I enter the building. The first thing I see upon entering is Hannah sitting on a chair. I glance at the chair next to her, but end up leaning against the wall as always. This is just one big mess. I tried so hard, but wasn't able to gather anything useful. Hannah turns to me, and I'm scared of her potentially questioning me about my inability. Her expression remains unchanged, like she never expected me to find anything in the first place. It's such an intimidating sight that I chose to ask her something first. So, did you find out anything new while investigating the outskirts? Nope, nothing. So it looks like neither of us. But hey, I overheard something while asking around the village. Ready? It's not much, but it's better than what you have, which is, well, nothing. That's... damn it. Just tell me what you found out. Please? Have you ever heard of the so-called administration? Administration. I overheard some villagers referring to it. Sounds like there's one person in charge of everything that's going on here. An administrative lead. So I tried to find out where this administration works out of. Junsung, did you know there's a church in the woods near the village? A church, you say? Really? Well, it's hard to trust what anyone says around here. So what'd you overhear? There's a church in the forest near the village. There's an office there that the administration works out of. And you think there could be clues about the mysterious lack of young people there? Yes, I think so. That's all I need to hear. I stop leisurely leaning against the wall and straighten up. Alright, let's do this. You know how to get there, right? Lead the way. Just dial it down a notch. We can't go there now. What do you mean can't go? According to the schedule I found, they're holding mass right now. That means there'll be a lot of people. You sure you still want to go there? Hannah's words managed to crush my eagerness in an instant. Well, then maybe we... My head is spinning. I'm constantly aware the time is running out. The pressure is getting to me. I need to figure out how to use this limited time in the most optimal way. As all kinds of adventurous ideas fill my mind, I can feel Hannah's gaze. I lift my head up. Can we talk a little? I'm sorry? Hannah gets up without saying anything and props up the chair that's on the ground. I'd actually thought about sitting on it myself before, but it just looks so too damn dirty. Hannah starts dusting the chair off with her handkerchief. Hey, wait! It's way too dirty for that. Hannah ignores my concerns. She brushes off all the dust and then sits down on the chair while exhaling weakly. I can see that her ankle still moves unnaturally. Hannah even frowns a little while sitting down. It's clearly painful. It's not just a minor injury after all. There, sit down. This whole situation is a little overwhelming. I keep looking back and forth between Hannah, her ankle, and the chair she's prepared. Then I slowly walk up and sit down next to her. So, what do you want to talk about? Just this and that. The future, what we're gonna do. Things like that, you know. Is now goal clear already? We both think it's strange that there are no young people here. They may have simply left, sure, but this whole situation, salvation stuff worries me. If the salvation ceremony turns out to be actually something terrible, we have to do something about it, right? Hannah, what's with that look? Jin-sung, you're a little different from all the other journalists I've met so far. I'm sorry, different how? The ones I've met, they bend topics to their will or vehemently cling to provocative headlines. Because they thrive off problems, the truth doesn't matter to them. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. People just want easily digestible gossip fodder rather than the truth. Not everyone is like that though. I testified knowing that my father didn't do it and was innocent. Yet it all fell on deaf ears because the public's opinion had already been shaped and manipulated. Instead of truthfully portraying me as a neutral witness, the press decided it was more profitable to make me the aiding and abetting lying daughter. All they cared about was making headlines, nothing more. So Ho Suk Cho, or rather the journalist who covered this, are guilty of this calculated misinformation. I wasn't even involved in any of that coverage. Yeah, I still can't help but feel guilty. The same goes for my father's past criminal record. It's actually true that my father served a prison sentence for murder, but once you dig a little deeper, you'll find out the truth behind that as well. He didn't do anything. What's the truth? What really happened? My father, he was just trying to protect me. He's just a man who risked his life for his daughter and got caught in an accident. Hannah pauses for a moment. After having made up her mind, she starts unravelling her past. At the time, Hannah was still in elementary school. After school, we would always stay at the school's playground all by herself. She was there on that particular day too. The other kids playing there left one after the other. As always, Hannah remained at the playground, all alone. It was then that a college student approached Hannah. The student pulled out a weapon and threatened Hannah, all while trying to force her to undress. Young and terrified, Hannah was unable to put up resistance. However, the student's vile crime was thwarted. Hannah's father, Tae-kyung, had come to the playground to pick her up. A fight broke out. The student swung his knife at Hannah's father, who stepped back to avoid the attack. During this attack, the knife got dropped. The college student rushed to grab the knife again, and Tak-young managed to grab him by the wrist. Tak-young wanted to control the student's wrist and tried to twist his arm. The student, however, did everything in his power to cling to the knife. Entangled, the two men rolled around on the sand, back and forth, back and forth. By the time fighting ceased, the sand and dirt on the floor was drenched in red. Panicked and still filled with adrenaline, Hannah's father stood up, but the student did not. The knife was deep in his chest, and after a few shallow gasps, he died right there on the spot. The student happened to be the only child of an opposing member of the National Assembly at the time. Tak-young was quickly arrested as a murderer. In the ensuing trial, all testimonies saying the college student had attempted to rape Hannah were ignored. Rather than take the actual circumstances into account, the murder was portrayed as a premeditated and cruel. Tak-young got sentenced to 7 years in prison. Ever since then, Tak-young's been living with a feeling of guilt burdening him. None of that guilt was because the college student died. Rather, it was the guilt of being unable to be there as a father for the daughter he'd saved for 7 whole years. That's actually quite a short sentence, isn't it? Like obviously it was self-defense or whatever, but like if he's actually like charged with first-degree murder, 7 years seems like a pretty light sentence too, don't you think? Anyway, once he got released, Tak-young gave up everything else and dedicated his whole life to supporting Hannah, who saw him shed tears for the first time when she successfully passed her bar exam. The two of them had been through hell. They thought all this pain was finally over. None of them ever expected something so bad would happen again. You know why I became a lawyer? I look at Hannah without answering. It's because I don't want anyone to be wronged like my father was. If I can save even one person through my work, if I can stop someone innocent being taken away from their daughter, that's what's been driving me throughout my whole life. And now she's gone through all of that again. If there were more journalists like you in this world, my father wouldn't have had to suffer through all this pain again. Do you understand? A journalist like me, she says. I don't even know what to say and simply bow my head. We both stay silent for quite a while. Only the wind's angry breeze occasionally cuts through the silence prevailing in the abandoned house. Let's go. I stand up. Go where? The mass surely hasn't finished yet. Not there. I look at Hannah, who keeps pretending not to know what I mean. I point a finger at her ankle. Do you plan on just leaving it like that? To my surprise, Hannah doesn't seem embarrassed or anything. Maybe she didn't mean to hide it. Instead, she looks at me with a questioning face. So where are we going? Looks like we're gonna have to bandage up another one. Does it hurt? A little. I pause for a moment. I wonder how she's even managed to get here. To my shock, her ankle is more severely swollen than I expected. I can't believe she's still been walking around like this all this time. I guess that's why her ankle looks the way it does. It only got worse over time. I do what I can with the first aid supplies I always carry with me, but what she really needs is rest. I meticulously wrap the bandage around Hannah's ankle. Do you always carry stuff around like that with you? I'm out in the field quite often, so yeah, better safe than sorry. Very professional. That's what News Trace stands for. Things may not always go well, but at least I'm doing the best I can with whatever I have. I find myself talking too much and shut my mouth. Talking about work always fills me with a sense of pride that can come across as way too arrogant. And there you go, all done. Let's see. Ouch! Hey, don't move around yet. Do I have to explain how a bandage works to you? I get it, and thank you. I cough a little and can't help but feel proud as I stand up again. You wait until that ankle's healed. Promise? I'll handle that whole church thing, so just rest. That means no moving around at all. Okay. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being only a burden. You're not, just accept that, okay? It's just... You heard me. I try to imitate Hannah's usual attitude and her way of speaking as best I can. Do you think this ankle would stop me from kicking your ass? Hannah's mood seems to have improved, to a small degree at least. Seeing her like this makes me feel a little relieved. Alright, I'll be on my way then. Don't go anywhere. Be careful, Jin-sung. If there's anything weird, promise me to run, okay? I respond to Hannah's concern by nodding affirmatively. As I step outside, I think about this meeting with Hannah. Feels like an absolute overflow of new things. The administration thing, Hannah's past. Also, Hannah seems to view me in a certain light. She seems to think I'm clinging to this case out of a sense of duty. Truthfully, it's hard to tell what my frame of mind was before I came here. I don't know if I was ever the man she thinks I am. Didn't I only pick this case for my own personal gain? As a way to make up for my previous failure? And did I honestly ever ask myself how much impact an article can have on someone's life and family? One small sigh is enough to answer all of my self-doubting questions. It's not even up for debate. I'm nowhere near as proud and dutiful as Hannah thinks I am. I shake my head while thinking about the missing young people. Whatever it takes, I want to find them before I leave this place. I want to protect them from whatever dangers and horrors they might face. Not for my own gain, but because of a false sense of honour. Only for their safety, that's all. I take out my phone and check the time. I don't know much about this mass they're holding, but if I go to the church now, I run the risk of wasting time. I should take care of some other things first. There's still a lot of work left for me to do around town. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up. It looks like we are very, very close to maxing out Sumi and Hana, which are pretty much... One of them's going to be human, you know? So, it's probably going to be Hana. I should focus on her, right? I feel like I should. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.